I'm coming to you for your underachievers for week 12. Boy, did we have a gang of them. Oh my God. So many big names did not perform this week. So many fantasy managers are out in week 12 struggling, not understanding what's going on, why their big name performers are not performing, and we're going to talk about them. Number one underachiever this week was Tua Tagovailoa. I told y'all Tua was going against that tough defense. Did he have a bad day? Ended up quarterback number 28, had 9.82 points in fantasy scoring, ended up throwing for 243, 1 TD, and 2 interceptions. Listen, Tua's going to have better days. This week, he has a sweet defense he's going against. Get him in your lineups. Last week, I told y'all, man, get Tua out of there. Go find you a different option. I started Tua in 0 leagues, and I'm patting myself on the back for it. Number 2, big name, Justin Fields. Who had Justin Fields on a fantasy team last night thinking that he was going to run for 100 yards, at least throw for 2 TDs, run for a TD? We all did. Or maybe it's just me because I'm a Chicago fan. That's right. I had Justin Fields in last night, ended up losing that league. It doesn't matter. I was going to lose anyway. I was down 80. That's right, man. The other guy had Kyron Williams, one of my homeboys, man, close friend. Bet him. That's the guy I lost my money to. Upset, man. Justin Fields, the bed. That's right. Boo-hoo on Justin Fields, man. Justin Fields ended up with 217 yards, no TDs, no picks, 12 rushes for 59 yards for 10.58 fantasy points in standard scoring. Terrible day. But hey, look at the other side of the ball. Josh Dobbs may have had a worse day. Man, that man threw 4 interceptions. Listen, the Monday night game was terrible. Punt fest, field goal fest. Man, y'all seen it. All right, our number 1 running back off the board for underachievers. This man had 9 touchdowns in the last 5 games. There was no more tight end is on IR over there in Baltimore. I'm thinking Gus Edwards is going to have a field day. They give the ball to Mitchell. Gus Edwards had 9 touches the entire game, no touchdowns. This man went for 26 yards. That's it. 1 reception. I was sick. Gus Edwards ends up with 4.2 fantasy points. The worst out of the top 4 that guy asked me to start, man. I apologize to you, bruh. If I'd have known that, man, Gus Edwards would have been on my bench. But what we did learn is that Mitchell is going to be getting that ball. They are feeling more comfortable with him. He is the more explosive back. Gus Edwards may end up being just a goal line threat at the end of the season. Hey, man, it is what it is. We live and we learn. So number 2 running back off my list is going to be James Conner. Ooh. He has been doing absolutely nothing since he's been back. He's gotten to 60, 70 yards at the most. This game, James Conner goes off for 27 yards. That's it. 4 receptions for 5 yards, ends up with 5.2 fantasy points on the day. James Conner was the number 47 running back. We gots to be more careful. And number 3 running back off my list flopped. And what's crazy is I'm talking to my boy by like, yo, look at Saquon. He got 40 yards in the first quarter. Still a couple minutes left. Saquon about to have a huge day. Look back in the fourth quarter. Saquon ends up with 46 yards rushing, 1 reception for 6 yards. Saquon had 3.7 points in fantasy scoring. Ended up running back number 43 on the day. What are the Giants doing in quarters 2, 3, and 4? This man had 40 yards rushing in the first quarter and ends up with 46 yards rushing in the game. What are y'all doing, Giants, over there in New York? Please tell me. Please. So those are your 3 running backs, Gus Edwards, Saquon Barkley, and James Conner. Flops of the week. All right, Hasub going to give you his first receiver off the board this week. Man, nobody saw this coming. This guy has been a target monster. Adam Theilen. Adam Theilen ends up 101 receiver in fantasy scoring this week. 1 catch, 2 yards, 0.7 points in standard scoring. That helped absolutely no one. People who own Adam Theilen are sick. He will be going to my bench. I had him starting in 2 leagues. I am sick. He will not be starting next week. No, sir, bobber. Number 2 receiver, Amari Cooper. Number 79 receiver in fantasy scoring this week, standard scoring. Amari goes off for 2 receptions, 16 yards for 2.6 points. That's it. Oh my God. Listen, and I started him. I benched him in a couple leagues, but I started him in those leagues that I needed him. I had no other options, bye weeks, injuries, and he flopped for me. I had a bad fantasy week, y'all. Man, week 13 has got to be better. And our next receiver off the board, and I talked about him earlier, Cooper Kupp. Oh, ends up number 70, had 3 receptions, 18 yards, 3.3 points in fantasy scoring standard leagues. Why did I start him, man? He had a terrible game coming off an injury. I always tell myself, it's the name recognition has been fucking me. Name recognition, man. We keep players on our team for name recognition sometimes. Is that needs to be on the bench. He needs to be on a waiver wire right now, Cooper. The hell's wrong with you, man? Get right. That was our third receiver off the board for underachievers. Our first tight end off the board for underachievers. He ended up number 55 tight end this week was Dalton Schultz. Look, CJ Stroud threw to everybody but Dalton. 1 reception, 2 yards, 0.7 points in standard league scoring. Number 2 tight end off the board. He was number 30 overall in fantasy scoring. You never know what you're going to get with this guy. It's either feast or famine with your boy George Kittle, man. George Kittle had 3 receptions, 19 yards, 3.4 fantasy points in standard scoring. That's it. He's going to have better days, and he's going to have days just like this. Are you willing to start him for it? Yeah. Those are our underachievers for week 12. Come check us out for our overachievers on the next episode for week 12. Man, it's your boy Hasu. Come check me out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. Check me out. Subscribe, like, send me a message. I answer all your questions within the 24-hour period. It's your boy Soup, man, and I'm out.